The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondel.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Stage Door Show. Tonight, my guest was not only a finalist on The Voice, but is a multi-award-winning singer-songwriter that has an incredible sound. And she has a new single out entitled Last Name that is also supported by a wonderful music video. Speaking of last name, she's carrying on the strong tradition of hit music that's synonymous with her famous last name. Let's welcome Cali Tucker to the show. Thank you for being with us, Cali.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on. And I was really excited to talk to you about some of this stuff because I know growing up, I know your mom, LaCosta Tucker, and your aunt, Tanya Tucker, were big in music, had a lot of hits. And, so growing up in a household like that and, around, the famous family, how was that growing up? Because, I think sometimes it could go both ways. Sometimes you get tired of that kind of lifestyle, but some people love it and kind of carry on that tradition. So how was it for you growing up like that? And was it something that you really wanted to get into, or was it something you wanted to do something else at one point?
Oh my gosh, never. I always wanted to be a singer and follow in their footsteps. If it wasn't for them, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. So I owe them all the credit, all the glory. No, it was like three years old when we were on the road on a tour bus, and Tanya and my mom would be doing shows, and we would all travel with them, me, my brother, and my cousins, and we'd get invited on stage and, to sing a couple songs at the end, or we'd be backstage or, on the bus. I remember sleeping in the bottom bunk. I just have so many fabulous memories of my childhood. And thanks to them, it was pretty extraordinary. And, I think for me, I always did struggle with what am I trying to say? What is my brand? What is my sound? What is my message? Because I'm coming obviously from a line of legendary ladies, and how do I make my own mark that is different, but also celebrates what they've done, So very, very interesting dynamic, and trying to figure that out. And it's taken a long time to figure it out. But here I am, and I love the music that I'm doing. And you do wind up going back to your roots. That's usually the tale as old as time, going back to where your roots are. And that's country music and my love for it. But also having fell in love with so many other genres and styles, I wanted to figure out a way to incorporate all of that into what I was doing. But no, it was never hard. It was never a hard decision. No one forced me into it by any means. Like, I am so proud of my last name and my lineage, and I couldn't be more grateful for the support that they give me in my pursuits in music. And it's been a wonderful journey. I'm just excited to continue sharing this music with everybody.
Well, you grew up in it, which I think is wonderful that you were able to share that. I haven't been part of that upbringing. So, I guess it's just from an outsider looking in, how do you feel about having that last name, and do you feel that responsibility to carry on that name?
I honestly don't feel any kind of weight of a responsibility. I feel a sense of pride. And I'm a very proud Tucker who is paving her own path. And I'm very grateful that I was introduced to the music world at such a young age. By no means have I ridden coattails of my family. Everything I've done has been, with a lot of just my own sweat equity, and then, several people around me that are believing in me, that, we're all just in it together. And it's been a super grassroots scenario where, I'm starting from the bottom and working my way to the top, and I'm learning and making mistakes as I go. And all the while, my mom and my aunt are just there, kind of in the background as supporting cheerleaders, because the music industry is much different than what it was when they were
100%
growing up and when they were doing it. Yeah. They both can attest that they probably would not know how to make it in the business if they had to today. It's a very different business model. And there's just, I've just got the faith of a mustard seed that I can continue to go on and make the music that I want to. And it'll never be what they did. I could never be a copy and paste of what they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am carrying on the last name, and I'm very proud of that. And I am proud of the music that I'm making, and I stand behind it 100%, and will continue to evolve as an artist. And who knows what people are going to hear from me next? I have no idea. I'm just going to write songs and make the music that I want to make and love. And you know, I bring this, you know, lighthearted playfulness, cheekiness, almost comedic relief to country music in a way. And then there's this other side that's serious and has a really important message to share with everybody. And I think that's my new single, Last Name. It's a very important message. And I want people to be inspired. I want there to be a hopefulness, and to be sassy and to be wild, and, you know, just be a kid. We're all so serious, you know what I mean? Like, I just want everybody to have fun. But my last name is never pushed me to the front of any line, nor has it held me back in any way. So just a lot of pride right there. And
you have such a great sound. I mean, I have to tell you that, you know, the music that I've listened to, and just Last Name itself was just a beautiful song. And the music video is amazing. I mean, the music video is so well done, and, you know, just the way it flows, and just, you know, I know there's some family members in there in the video. I believe it's your mom, correct?
My mom is in every single one of my music videos. She is always the star. She is the star. It is so amazing that she wants to be a part of what I'm doing, and that I get to share her in this type of way. And the touring show that we have, she's also featured in that show. And so we always said, like, you know, this was the dream come true, getting to tour with your family. And I just got to open for Tanya, and me and my mom got to do a segment in the show that features her. And it's just wonderful. It's just so special. I can't even describe it.
Oh, what a great upbringing. I mean, you know, and then the fact that you can perform with your family as well, it's got to be just an amazing opportunity that, you know, a lot of people, when they go out to tour, you know, they're away from their families for a long time. And you know, the fact that your family is all in the same business, you know, it's got to be. And the nice thing, too, is that they understand what you're going through. And I think that's a really important piece of the support that somebody that's in the business gets from somebody who understands it, either a spouse or, you know, a parent or aunt in this case too, that they all understand the business end of things when you're touring. So does that help you get through some of these, you know, moments? Because I'm sure it's not all rosy. I mean, there's going to be some tough moments as well. So talk about that support that you get, because I think it's super important for any artist, you know, but I think it's for you. I think it helps to have somebody that understands you.
Oh man, the more people that understand me as like, y'all are my people, because it is a different way of life. I mean, I say this a lot. I'm a very simple person with a very unique job, and you wouldn't quite understand it unless you were immersed in it, or you had a very, very open mind, because you know, it's just not a normal 9 to 5. Before I answer your question, I have to go to Last Name, because Last Name is quintessentially about this topic we're discussing. You know, Last Name is not directly about my last name or my family. It was written for a dear friend of mine who was not supported by his family, and he rose above that and has the most beautiful, happy, successful life, and did it without the support of his family. And I just want to encourage other people, you know, that regardless of your situation, whether it's someone you're married to that doesn't support you and you share the same last name, if it's your parents that don't want you to be a dancer or an actress and they want you to go back to college and be a doctor, like, I just want people to know that you're being heard, and we support you. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do that. Sometimes you actually get to choose your family, and I encourage people to do that if they feel unsupported. And then another good friend, you know, said it resonates with me because I was in foster care, and I wanted that last name so bad, and I didn't get it, you know. But regardless whether you share that last name with somebody, you can literally achieve anything you want to in this life. And it's a topic that, kind of serious, but also, I keep it lighthearted and playful, especially within the music video. Is based around Cinderella and that storyline of her stepmother and stepsisters being so evil to her. And then of course her wind up being the princess. But I think it's lovely that I have had the support of my family. By no means is, like I said, ever giving me a leg up in this industry, but I do have the support of them. And it's great. And if we continue to get to do shows together, what a blessing that would be. I have I've definitely built a family base out here with my friends and my supporters out here in Las Vegas. And everywhere I go, I always tell people, I don't want you to think that, I'm this untouchable artist where it's like a diva scenario. And I want people to resonate, connect, interact, and be present with me, because it's all about connection. And I can make friends, family really fast. I love to love. I love to show love, and I love people to feel the love within whatever space I take up, within theirs.
That's amazing. I'm going to quote you here, because you kind of said this already, but I want to quote you. You said, I want people to know whoever you want to be, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, it's within your reach. I think that's an amazing quote, because a lot of times we talk in the show that I think some people that are, because being an independent artist, it's a lot of hard work, and a lot of the people that listen to our show are not represented or anything like that. But I think sometimes they're so close to getting, that success or a break, and they might quit, and they're hearing a lot of no's, but then they're so close to hearing that yes, but they will never realize it because they give up. So, staying the course is one of our biggest messages. And what can you say to somebody that's maybe teetering on giving up but they have that talent? So what would you say to that person?
I would say that you're just going to get a lot of no's, and you're going to hear a lot of no's in your own head. And I think as long as you feel pride with what you're doing, I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter, whether it's the arts or if it's in the medical field, or you want to be an equestrian horse trainer for the circus. I don't know. I wish I had a better non-cliche thing to say about not giving up, but it really just comes down to that. If you love it, you believe in it, figure out a way to make money doing it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tough, but just keep fighting the good fight. I've had a lot of the odds stacked against me for many years. And if we had more time, one day I'll write a book, because by no means has this been an easy journey for me. And I'm just now, putting out the music that I really love. And I've been doing it for a very, very long time. So it took me a long time to find myself within the music, but I thought better late than never. And if I don't do it now, I'll surely regret it when I'm on my deathbed saying, I wish I had. Yeah. So, there's no guarantees but success in this business is relative. When I worked at Dollywood, people were happy working at Dollywood for the rest of their lives as singer dancers. Amazing. That's great. I wanted to do more. I actually wanted to be a recording artist. Okay. Go back to Nashville where I grew up. Okay. Start recording, start songwriting. Well, that's not enough. Let me go on this hit TV show and see if I can make something of that. Okay. Did that. That's great. Where'd I go from there? We're going to move to Vegas, start performing, 6 nights a week, headlining in these places. Okay. That's great. Where do I go from there? Just level up wherever that, even if it's a small step, just continue to try to level up, make little short-term goals that may take a long time, but you'll never regret doing it. Do you know what I mean? You'll never say, boy, I wasted a lot of time trying to do that. Nah, you can't say that. You can't say that. Just watch your back. Make sure you're making right decisions. You're working with the right people. I
was just going to say the same thing, make sure you have the right people around you in the circle of people that you keep, being out in Vegas, and having the residencies out there. Cause I know you've been doing that for a long time, and you perform a lot out in Vegas, and I just being in Vegas, I know there's people from all over the world that visit Vegas all the time. So you're reaching a broad audience by doing these residencies, and do you ever get people contacting you from like all over the world that say, hey, I saw you perform in Vegas when I was there? So talk about that, because that to me is one of the most visited places anywhere in the world. So that's got to be a great thing to do, is to play Vegas and so much and reach that audience all over the world.
Oh yeah, it's super special. I mean, people message me all the time and say, "Oh my God, we saw you last week," or "We saw you 5 years ago," and then people will show up at my shows, be like, "You remember me?" And I'm like, some I'm like, "Yes," and some I'm like, "No," But yeah, I definitely get some repeat customers and people that have continued to follow and be my friends throughout all these years on this journey, and they're obviously seeing like the growth and the evolution of Cali Tucker, and it has been it's been the most invaluable decision I've ever made by moving here. I see people, yes, from all over the world that follow, like, and subscribe, baby. And, in this day and age, that's what it's about. So I've got a great thing going here, and I've made a lot of great friends and have a lot of really supportive followers, because this is a transient town and everyone is from everywhere. So they can take these awesome videos they took at this show. This girl was singing, meaning me, back to Germany and India and California and New Zealand and Canada. And it just goes on and on. So it's been a great tool to be out here and hone my craft, build my following, and build my brand.
And you were speaking earlier about when your mom and your aunt were, performing back in the 70s and 80s when things were a lot different, obviously. And now, we have social media, we have streaming platforms, we have all kinds of, things where, unfortunately, like a lot of studios have closed down, unfortunately, because I think, that was kind of an exciting thing to go into a studio, but a lot of people record out of their home, or they, studios still exist, but they're not like it used to be. And I think, now people can put out their own music without needing a major label. Obviously it's about marketing, but, what are your thoughts on that evolution? Because you were there the whole time. I mean, you were through it. And,
yes.
As a 3-year-old, you say going on the tour bus, and you've seen it from that point to now. And do you think it's a good thing that we have all these streaming platforms? Or do you think it's creating more, I guess, competition? The airwaves are kind of, cluttered right now. So what do you think about that?
Great question. I don't know if I have a definitive answer, but I will just give you some thoughts on it. Growing up, you were a great singer, and if you were a songwriter, awesome, but that was definitely not a requirement. You'd go to a publisher and you'd get played 100 songs, and you'd pick the songs you wanted to record and make for your album. And songwriters, they had a definitive role as songwriters, and they made their money doing that, and artists made their money as performers and their performance royalties and things like that. I mean, felt like everybody had their place. It was very and there wasn't obviously the requirement of social media, which puts a ton of pressure on independent artists, especially. Well, I shouldn't even say that. I think it puts a lot of pressure on major label artists as well. Yeah. I think they hear it just as much as we do about how important it is to grow the following, have content, make sure there's the engagements. It's a pressure that I never would have anticipated. And it would have might have steered me not to do music, because it's not a fun thing all the time to have to do. We're in this because we want to do it. We don't have to make music. Yeah. I don't think there's a soul on this planet that does it because they have to. We all want to. I think there's just other aspect of it that is we'd just much rather be writing a song and performing or creating a music video. And sometimes it just doesn't feel like there's enough time in the day to create content as an influencer. So, but I do think it's very, very, very cool, because we do get to reach a much wider audience by having the streaming platforms and social media like we do. I think there are, extraordinarily talented people in the middle of nowhere, USA or the world, that never would have gotten to get heard had it not been for platforms like TikTok or Instagram, or even, obviously, Spotify and getting to stream their music. There's a whole other side of that too, though, that, you could release music, and if you don't have playlists that play you, or a PR firm or a management company helping push that, it's very hard to get heard. So actually, I'd have to say, I don't feel like it necessarily is helping. I'm not sure. I'd have to do a little more research, but I know so many talented people, like so many, and they release music all the time. Like, and we're talking like one great hit smash song every 2 months. That's perfect. I release way less. And they're just not getting the streams, they're not getting the plays. And a lot of times you have to pay for those.
Yeah.
And it's a game that we should not have to be playing.
Yeah.
It is oversaturated, and I think it's gotten a little messy. And now there's just I do all my distribution through DistroKid, right? And so when you first sign up for it and you're setting everything up, there's, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 different streaming platforms.
Sure.
You're going to see Spotify, you're going to see all the Amazon, the normal ones, the high end ones, but there's these other ones. And it's like, I don't know. I want to say it's a great tool, and I encourage everybody to participate, but don't let it dictate.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Before we go, I just a couple questions left, but I have one that I've always wanted to ask this of somebody that was on like a singing competition show like The Voice, because I know that the cameras aren't always rolling, and so how was that experience overall for you being on The Voice? Because I know, from all accounts that I've heard about from Blake Shelton, is great to work with. But how was that experience overall? Because I think it's great exposure for you, but again, there's another side sometimes to it, and it's not easy being on a show like that sometimes. So how was it for you?
It was the best decision I ever made. And I'll tell you why. I'll try to make it as short as possible. But at the time that I got asked to do the show, I was bartending in Nashville, still songwriting, doing rounds. My mom said, "Hey, your sister-in-law is going to go to Vegas." That's why I wasn't living here at the time, to audition for The Voice. And I think you should go too. And I thought, yeah, any excuse to go to Vegas, baby.
That's right.
So I was like, I was in my party mode. I was ready to rock. So I flew out and did the cattle call audition. I got there like 3 a.m. I was like the first 10 in line. I walk in, we do this stand-up, sit-down scenario of like 10 people, verse and a chorus. I made it through. It was awesome. And then I just kind of kept making it through all these other auditions that happened prior to actually being on the show. And so I'm just like, is this really happening? I'm really about to be on this show. This is crazy. And so I get picked to be on the show, and it's just your whole world kind of becomes that. So you get locked up in the hotel room, can't leave. And you just that's all you can think about is the show and the song you're going to do and what you're going to wear. And then they have vocal coaches and choreographers and therapists and just different people behind the scenes. The greatest thing I got out of the show was the people that I met. And then, of course, using it as a platform to further my career. And so it was absolutely nerve-wracking, the most nervous I've ever been in my life, because I had never been on anything like that in my life. Sure. And I've been on stages, but never like that. So it was a wildly different experience. And
you got cameras everywhere too, which even adds to it, right?
Oh, the pressure was on. Oh my God. Yeah. I needed more. I definitely was green. I would say I walked into that whole situation very green. And I made it through the first round, the blind auditions, and then wound up on Team Blake, and I got paired with my battle partner named Ryan White Maloney. and we were battle partners. And he lived out here in Vegas for like 7 years at the time, I believe it was. And he and I stayed good friends after the show. And I would talk to him almost every day. And he was like, Cali, why don't you just move out to Vegas? You're going to do great if you move here. You're going to sing. And I was like needing a change bad. I was feeling very stagnant and stale in Nashville at the time. And I was like, how can I utilize this platform and take myself to the next level? I was trying to level up. And so he talked me into moving out, and I did. And I lived in like a 400 square foot apartment for a little while on an air mattress. And I just worked and worked and worked my way up till, I've grown and, made this awesome name for myself out here. And it's been wonderful. And Ryan was the biggest part. He's the reason why I'm here. And we lost him this year. And he was so important to me. And he gave me he really helped me when I first moved here and gave me this opportunity. And if I hadn't been on The Voice, I would not have met him. So that's the greatest thing I got out of it, was meeting Ryan.
Yeah, it's all about the people. And thanks for sharing that story, by the way. And then, I guess my last question is, I ask everybody, but when it's all said and done, I know you've forged your own path, and that's why I want to ask you this question so badly, but what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to leave behind when it's all said and done to your family, your friends, your fans, at the end of the road?
Oh, that I was a kind person. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. I just want people to say I was a kind person. That's it. Yeah. That's the legacy. I could have done anything I wanted to, any kind of music. It doesn't matter what job I was doing. I just, that she was kind, she was fun, she was true grit, she was genuine, she was authentic. She cared a lot about others. And that's at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters.
It's a great answer. First of all, just everybody, again, just check out, first of all, go to CaliTucker.com. She has all of her tour information. Everything that you can imagine is on this great website. I've been on this website for over a week, and I just absolutely love your website.
Thank you.
It's so well done. And I know you have some dates coming up. But of course, we talked about your Las Vegas residency, so you can see all the dates where she's performing. So if you're not in Vegas already, fly to Vegas, because everybody loves going to Vegas. So check it out. Yeah. And I see some of these resorts that you're playing at. It's just amazing. Like the Wynn Hotel, I see Resorts World, which everybody loves. So, some of these great places. So check it out. And then also, last name, check out the music video, which is phenomenal. So again, congratulations on that. And just congratulations on the success that you've had and that continue to have. And best of luck to you and, in your future. I know it's hugely bright, and, you have a lot of fans out there, including me. So, just best of luck, and thank you for being on the show. It's really an honor.
Thank you for having me, Dave. I appreciate you so much. And thanks everybody for listening. And I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Come and see me.